Only 5 human-made spacecraft have enough energy to escape our solar system's gravitational pull. While dozens upon thousands of items have been sent into space, the Sun is approximately 300,000 times as large as Earth and is significantly more difficult to escape. Only Pioneer 10 and 11, Voyager 1 and 2, and New Horizons achieved escape velocity from our Sun. New Horizons and both Voyager spacecrafts fueled by radioisotope thermoelectric generators remain operating. Voyager 1 has surpassed all previous spacecrafts in distance, currently 22 billion kilometers away from Voyager 2, which is only 18.8 billion kilometers away. No communication with Voyager 2 since the coronavirus epidemic in mid-March, but a new deep space network dish made a successful call on October 29. Here's how we stay connected to the farthest things ever launched from Earth. To send and receive messages at astronomical distances, you must overcome 3 obstacles: distance, time, and sway. The further away a spaceship is from you, the longer it takes for a signal to reach it, and the lesser its power when it arrives, because light signals stretch out in 2 dimensions, perpendicular to the spacecraft's line of sight. The distance to a spacecraft is twice as great as the time it takes a light signal to get to it. Contacting a distant spacecraft is difficult, takes longer, and uses more energy. The way an electromagnetic signal operates is simple. It expands out in a spherical shape from its source because all observations have some background noise, both terrestrial and cosmic. Your signal must rise above the noise to be noticed. That requires bigger detectors for receiving and bigger transmitters for transmitting. Unfortunately, once launched, existing spacecraft cannot be updated in any manner. They are stuck with the technology they were given. Plus, the spacecraft are powered by radioactive sources, where materials like plutonium-238 decay radioactively, releasing heat that is transformed into electricity. As time passes, more and more material decays, reducing the spacecraft's ability to broadcast and receive signals. Thermocouples decay over time and lose efficiency at lower powers as the amount of heat energy produced by radioactive material decreases. As a result, the spacecraft's power from radioisotope thermoelectric generators has diminished dramatically. By 2020, the onboard plutonium-238 produces just 69% of the initial thermal energy, or around 50% of the original output power. Despite their age and distance from Earth, Voyager 1 and 2 are still accessible. The rationale is simple. As we increase our transmission and reception skills, we can both send out stronger signals to faraway spacecraft and detect their responses even at low strengths. A network of radio antennae designed to communicate with humanity's most distant spacecraft. Astronautic missions to the stars, discoveries in the unknown, and questions about our own existence are all possibilities. If any of these intrigue you, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Facts Pulse, and continue your exploration of the vastness of the universe. Worldwide, there are 3 large radio antenna facilities: Canberra, Australia, Madrid, Spain, and Goldstone, California. These 3 facilities are about equidistant across the world, so at any given time, at least one of the antennae will have direct line of sight to a spaceship. Of course, the facility in Canberra, Australia is the only one in the southern hemisphere. The Australian dish is the only one capable of communication with the spaceship so far south that it is undetectable from California or Spain. While all 3 of these missions might theoretically encounter pioneers, New Horizons and Voyager 1, Voyager 2 stands out because of its 1989 flyby of Neptune and its gigantic moon Triton. The mission to Neptune remains the sole close encounter humanity has had with our solar system's 8th and last, for now, planet, as well as Triton, the largest known Kuiper Band object. The flyby revealed Neptune's ring system, several small inner moons, and a variety of features on Triton, including cryovolcanoes and varied terrain comparable to what New Horizons would discover 26 years later when it flew past Pluto. To get close to Triton, Voyager 2 had to fly across Neptune's north pole, deviating its trajectory well south of the plane in which the planets orbit the Sun. Over the previous 31 years, it has remained invisible to all members of the Deep Space Network save one dish in Australia. It has been shut down since mid-March 2020 for improvements to the dish and the radio transmitter that talks to Voyager 2. The dish itself is a marvel of engineering. A 70-meter, 230-foot radio antenna, it has two radio transmitters, one of which sends commands to Voyager 2. That instrument was 47 years old and hadn't been replaced since. It also had outdated heating and cooling systems, inefficient electronics, and a power supply system that hampered prospective modifications. Fortunately, NASA decided to upgrade them all, allowing it to accomplish something no other facility can: send commands to Voyager 2. The spacecraft is still relaying health and science data to a network of smaller dishes in Australia, but it is unable to accept commands, so it will continue doing what it was doing until new commands are received. On October 29, 2020, mission operators for Voyager 2 decided to conduct a critical test, sending commands to Voyager 2 for the first time since the renovations began. Brad Arnold, NASA's Deep Space Network project manager, says, "What makes this task special is that we're working on the antenna from the ground up to the feed cones in the dish's core that protrude above the rim. A signal from Earth to Voyager 2 takes around 36 light hours to travel round-trip. Voyager 2 acknowledged receipt of the call and executed the command successfully. This test communication with Voyager 2 confirms that the effort is on schedule. The enhancements to this Deep Space Network member are expected to be completed in early 2021, allowing NASA to prepare for a succession of planned missions. In addition to supporting crewed missions like Artemis, the enhanced communications and navigation infrastructure will help NASA's Mars Perseverance rover communicate with Earth on February 18, 2021. This particular dish was built in 1972 and originally measured 64 meters, even when it was increased to 70 meters. 15 years later, none of the following repairs or upgrades compare. NASA said this is one of the most important upgrades the dish has had in over 30 years. Voyager 2 and the other departing spacecraft will lose power as they recede from the Sun, making it harder to send and receive commands. However, as long as the Deep Space Network antennae remain working, even at inefficient power levels, we can continue to upgrade and expand them to conduct science. As long as these satellites are still operating, upgrading our facilities on Earth will allow us to collect data for years, if not decades. In fact, Voyager 1 and 2 are the furthest distant operational spacecraft ever launched from Earth. So far, they've both crossed the heliopause and are exploring the celestial hemisphere. This is the first time we have directly sampled space outside our solar system from so far away. With these new enhancements, we'll be able to view things we've never seen before. In science, that's always where the rich new findings are. Thanks for watching, and we'd love to keep you updated on all our future videos. So hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to be a part of our Facts Pulse family.